So today, instead of talking about a specific album, I'm going to talk about another musical question, which is why are band instruments in so many different keys? When I was in band, I played clarinet, and when the director would ask us to play a concert B flat, that meant I would play a C. Same with the trumpet players and the tenor sax players. While the flute players, whose instruments were in C, would play a B flat. I'm not sure what the other instruments that were in E flat or F would play. But why are they in so many different keys? Now, clarinets used to be more like recorders, just holes. They started adding keys and eventually added a whole bunch of keys. And the same thing happened with flutes. And Adolphe Sax was one of the people who did this. He created the saxophone based on his work on other instruments. And the trumpet used to not have valves. Same with most of the brass instruments. They they could only they were basically bugles. Could only play the notes that you could play. And then they had the slide to trombones, and rotary valves and piston valves were invented around the same time. But at some point, they decide what the standard of these is going to be, and why did they pick the ones they did? Clarinets are in B flat. How much trouble would it be to make them a half step bigger so that they would be in C? Same with trumpets. How much trouble would it be to make them a half step bigger? Now, it used to be that wind instruments didn't have much range. Brass instruments had no valves, and woodwind instruments, they would come in multiple sizes to make up for the lack of range. So, for example, here you have some recorders that are all in F, bass, alto, and sopranino. And here's some recorders in C, tenor, soprano, and garkline. But they eventually added lots of keys and made it so that they could play in a variety of keys and had a big range. Why didn't they make the clarinets in C and the trumpets in C and the tenor sax? Now, there was some experimentation with this. At some point in the 20s and 30s, I realized this was a mistake and did make some saxophones that were in C, some tenor and soprano saxophones that were in C. But the trouble was, by this point, all this music was already in existence. And it was too hard to translate the music. So, why?